Hi everyone, welcome to the 39th episode of the Zicast. As always, I'm your host Ryan Ziax, and today I'm joined by producer Sam Shaw.
It's so good to be here. Thank you so much.
Of course, and I'd like to shout out episode 31 guest Liam Chen for TDing once again. So Sam, I announced you as a producer because Ray of Sunshine is not a job title.
Stop it. That is way too sweet.
At least not to my knowledge. And I believe that you're very acquainted with the Zicast and what we do here. So with all that said, how about you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. So I'm a 3+1 film, television, media arts major with a minor in management and media studies. I'm also the Q30 TV marketing director and the QFS vice president this year. I also work with Ability Media to do some executive producing stuff with them, which is really awesome. And yeah, I think that's all I do here.
And where are you from?
I'm from Sayreville, New Jersey. It's kind of central. I know that's like a hot topic, whether it's north or south, but it's in the middle. So whatever you want to take with that.
We have a lot of Jersey students here at Quinnipiac, so that has been debated before on the Zicast.
Yeah, but I think it's so strange because I found out about Quinnipiac because two of my cousins went here, and then no one from my high school came here. So I felt like kind of like completely alone, like lone wolf going into a new territory. But it's been awesome because there have been like a lot of people. I'm like, oh, I know where that is, or that's so crazy that we haven't run into each other before. Which has been nice. So it's good to find some Jersey natives.
Very much so, very much so. And to preface things, Q30 is the TV station here at Quinnipiac,
yes.
and QFS is the Quinnipiac Film Society. Both have been referenced here before. I like to make sure, just in case someone is not at Quinnipiac or doesn't know what they are, I like to explain what those things are, especially since we'll be getting into that. But I started this by calling you a ray of sunshine. So I'd like to ask you about your ability to brighten a room and work with others.
That's such a sweet thing to say, and like I don't see it. Like I just think that there's such value in being like kind to people and just like trying to spread positivity. I think everyone's got enough, crap going on. Everyone's got their own thing, and you don't need to be a reason to contribute to that. Also, just like meeting people's cool, talking to people's cool. I like a bunch of different things, so I feel like I can always try to connect with someone on some type of level, whether it's something as simple as like homework is stressful or like, maybe like a favorite band. There's always something, and I think kindness is free. If I can share that with people, like that makes me the happiest person in the world. And for working with others, I think it's just the simple fact that like everyone's working towards something. It's gonna happen. Like people have their own ideas, people have their own way of getting there, but we're all working toward that goal. Talking things out and hearing people's ideas, like that's the foundation of like just communicating and being a good team player, and even just learning more about your own skills, because they can teach you something and you could teach them. That's how relationships work. That's how networking works. That's how everything you're gonna have to do from this point forward works. And I think it's great to start doing that now in college while you have the opportunity to. That way, once you get to the like actual real world, you're able to connect with people on all different levels.
That's very telling. I appreciate how much of an answer you gave to a question that's very hard to answer. So yeah, especially like in the fields we're in, I've heard once, you don't need to like everyone, but you need to be able to work with everyone. And I've always noticed that you can kind of work with anyone because you're so nice and you have such a bright personality that you're able to kind of coexist with everyone. That's why you're so great as production manager for Q30, because it's a job that I know has so many like ups and downs, and your ability to always be cool and always speak to everyone, it is very, very telling. I think it builds on something that I wanted to ask you about, which is your faith and kind of how that guides your life.
Yeah, no, faith is a huge part of my life. I went to Catholic school from pre-K 4 until 8th grade. And then after, I went to a public high school, but I kept volunteering at my church. I kept going back for vacation Bible school, which is a ton of fun. And I just kept being a part of the community. And there's just a lot of lessons I think you can get from it. Like people don't realize like the spirituality of it all. Like that's a lot of it for me is just based in my religion. Like going to Catholic Mass even just at Quinnipiac every week, it's just a reminder of like things are okay. Like everything's meant to happen for a reason. Treat people with kindness. Like that's how life treats you too. Like life's not going to be fair. Life's not going to be whatever. But there's like, in my case, like I know God's got me. It's funny. I have a little wallet that says, God is good. And my roommates will always like bring it up like when I'm having a bad day or just need that reminder, because like things will work out. And I just find a lot of peace in it. Like I love Christian rock music. I think it's a lot of fun, like Brandon Lake. And just those little daily reminders that like spread kindness, spread positivity, be respectful, do unto others as you would like done to you. All of those are just things that I hold really dear to my heart. And that just keep me going, because I think it's so easy to fall into the trap of like things aren't going to work out, like what's going wrong, like just the anxiety and the depression and like everything that can get to you. But there's just something so refreshing about just reminding myself that like, nope, Jesus got it. Like just give it to God and go to sleep. Like you're going to be okay. And like I always wear my cross necklace that my grandmother gave me, because again, it's just like that little reminder I need. And I can hopefully share with others, even, just in that, like, keep going kind of sense.
Very much so. That's very compelling, because I could see how much of a framework it is for your life.
It's a great way to put it.
In that sense, is that's something I've always felt, because I've been very on and off religious. I haven't gone to church in a rather long time, but I do pray every night before I go to bed, which is I've always found interesting, because I like to have someone to express my gratitude towards, because I always say I'm in a perpetual state of disbelief here at all the things I'm able to do. So it's always been kind of interesting to me that even though I wouldn't really call myself religious, that's something I do I've done every night for however long I can remember. I've always prayed.
No, yeah, I think that we can all relate to something on a certain level. Like I know for King and Country song, it's literally just called Relate, and it's just about how like we're all going through things and we can relate on this level. And whether it's praying, whether it's going to church, whether it's me reading a Bible verse, there's just that little bit we can all kind of see ourselves in. And I think that's crazy too. Like I'll read like a Bible verse and I'm like, something like that was not a coincidence. Like someone's looking out for me. And I think that everyone can express that in different ways. And college is, again, kind of that time where you're figuring yourself out and figuring out your relationship with, gratitude and with just being in the moment and things like that. And my religion has just really helped me find like a footing in that.
Very much so, because everyone has a story.
Yes.
And sometimes, sometimes life can just feel like one in that way, like something's guiding you, like it's a script. And that's something that's hard to like put into words. So that's why I feel like you're the perfect person to talk to about this. And like, I could always tell like with your energy that you were religious of some kind before knowing.
Well, thank you. I take that as a great compliment.
Yeah, and that's something that's always been very comforting, because like I've told you before, you're like my comfort person.
Stop it. Oh my God. You're gonna make me cry on this podcast. Like
you're like if a sitcom was a person.
That is, I think, like the best compliment I've ever received.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Hang on tight for the rest of this episode, because of course we met because of your time in Q30, where very interestingly enough, I've been here for 3 semesters now, and every semester you've had a different position in the organization. So I'd like to ask you about like all your stops in Q30 and what that's meant to you.
Yeah. So freshman year coming into college, I was like, I can't do Q30. Like, I'm not qualified. That's a lot. Let's not do this. And, my roommate and I, we'd go back to our room and we'd, after eating dinner, and just do our homework and things. But 2 of my suite mates now, they would come back all the time from it and be like, oh, we did this today. We did that. And my roommate and I came to the realization that like Q30 was something that we probably should be doing. And I think one of the best things, whether it's Q30, whether it's another organization, for whatever you're interested in, it's just great to just try things. Just go for it. See if you like it, because when else are you going to have the opportunity to know whether or not you like it with like no strings attached? So spring semester, my freshman year, I applied to be a music beat reporter, and I got the position. And that was a lot of fun. That was just writing articles about things going on. I think I did like the Grammys. Big Time Rush went on tour. The Jonas Brothers got their star on the Walk of Fame. So just like fun things that like I already loved talking about. And from there, I was really interested in Hashtag That, which is the entertainment news show. And I was talking to the entertainment director at the time, Bella Foley, and she was like, just go for it. Try to be an AP. And I was like, I can't associate produce. Like, I haven't been around enough. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And she was like, hey, just try. Just go for it. At least you get interview experience. Like, that's the worst that happens. And I was like, okay. And I did it. And I remember when I got the call that I got the position, it was like, no way, like, stop. And that was one of the best experiences, just working with a team, creating things for myself, and just being a part of something that I was like really proud of. And then when production manager applications came out in like December, January timeframe, this past spring semester, I was really interested because I loved all the stations for different, or all the departments rather, for different reasons. Like, I'm a huge sports fan. News is always interesting because there's always something going on, and entertainment, I mean, I just always loved. So I never thought that was something that I would actually go for, but I was like, you know, let me just try. I'll apply, I'll interview. Like, that's the worst that can happen. And I got the call that I got it, and I quite literally said, are you sure? I was like, are you kidding? And they were like, Connor was like, nope. And I was very thankful for him and for Carly and the rest of the executive board and cabinet last year. They were all awesome. Like, there's a lot to learn with that, because it's not just production, which I think a lot of people tend to think it is. It's very much management. It is a management position where you are working with like 30 producers, all on different things, all trying to figure out, you know, because they each have their own ideas for the show, and that, like, bringing it together, working with the department directors to figure out what they want as well. It's very collaborative, and that's the main point of the job, which I think was super beneficial, because you should know something about management and production, like, in this industry. It's just helpful to have that experience. But then after that semester's over, I decided that I wanted to keep trying to do different things. Which is why I applied for marketing director, because I just thought it'd be interesting to take social media on, and, you know, merchandise is fun. And I also, that gave me the opportunity to be the vice president for the Quinnipiac Film Society. And so far it's been a lot of fun. People are making TikToks. I get to see content that people are making and repost it. And it's really nice seeing how people collaborate with the different profiles and really use it. Because it is a platform for everyone. It's not just, oh, look at our station, like, you know, it's only like, everyone can contribute to it, and I think that's what I like best about it. Very much so. And you were able to kind of tap into, like, so many different facets of what Q30 can do for you, kind of starting as an AP and going production manager, doing marketing. So you're getting, like, the all-around experience, which is really what Q30 is made for. And I don't know if you remember, but when we met, we were working on you were helping me with a package I was making for Hashtag That. It was the movie Dumb Money. That's it. I was like, it's not Money Heist. It's something. It was Dumb Money, yeah. And you were helping me film and edit my package for that. We filmed it in Glen, and then we went and we edited it in the Media Suite. That was fun. Yeah. It was fun. Because I was learning too. Like, I had only done so many packages, so it was nice, like, to sit down and actually, like, kind of, like, make sure I knew too, like, okay, this is how to do this is where that should go. And I mean, hanging out with you, it was fun. I got to meet new people. exactly. And then I remember we were putting the camera in a stand, and you said, you know, give the camera a name. So I named it Ken. That was right after the Barbenheimer summer. Yes. That's wild to think back on now. So that's fun memories that we've had in Q30. And you said that you were a sports fan, to circle back on that. What do you watch? I would say that hockey's my favorite sport. Quinnipiac. Yes, I love the Quinnipiac hockey teams. They're great. I'm also a huge Rangers fan. I just love it. I was able to go to a game this year, which was incredible, and my dad's taken me to a lot across my life, which I'm very thankful for. It's a lot of fun. It's just high stakes, and it's great. I love baseball. My brothers played growing up, so I was just always around the Little League in that environment. And then eventually, one of my best friends started the Challenger Division League at our Little League, which was for special needs kids to just have the opportunity to learn baseball in like a safe and fun environment. So I volunteered there, and it's a lot of fun because it's just us teaching and us making sure everyone's having a good time. And the Yankees are my favorite baseball team.
I would expect.
Yeah.
Giants fan?
So I actually don't have a football team, but sure, why not? Like
Sure.
New York all the way.
I was the first thing that was coming to my mind, I was gonna say Giants.
Yeah,
But
I feel like that.
But
Yeah, pretty much. I like the Giants. I think were like the first team I like knew about. So we'll go with that.
We'll roll with that.
Yeah.
And to keep this show on rolling, I'd like to ask you about being the vice president for the Film Society and your goals with that and the club.
So as like a film student, I think it's great that we learn a lot in the classroom, but I'm the type of person that if I don't repeat the process, like I'll forget about it. So with the Quinnipiac Film Society, I think it's just great that you can keep practicing that again in like a space where like the stakes aren't high. Like you can mess up and that's totally fine. You can try something new and no one's going to say anything about it because you're just trying. You're just finding what you like. Like, do you like making comedy? Do you like more drama? Do you like thrillers? Like just find out, figure it out for yourself. And we're here to help you along the way. And I think that's what's great about like the mini productions that we do, which is just like, get into a group and go have fun.
Zicast.
Right. The Zicast. And then the fall productions where, it's like the whole club all together on like what feels like a super real professional film set. And it just gives you the experience that you wouldn't otherwise have. And again, you can just hone in your skills that you're learning in the classroom. So if I could do that and if I can help people feel more comfortable with what they're doing and their, the trajectory that they want their career to go in, like that's something that I'm like, okay, great. I would also love guest speakers. I know we have one coming up, which is very awesome. And we're looking to have more in the future as well, like, next semester, and maybe toward the end of this one. But those are the big things. Like talk to people that have done it and can help you and just go do it.
Yeah, exactly. For context, the Zicast, I play a character in a mini production where my character's name was Zicast.
Yeah, I love the running jokes. It's a lot of fun. Like even from like last year, people have made mini productions that talk about what they did last year, and I think it's funny. And I think it just creates that culture and that community of people.
I mean, I very much agree with what you're saying about how you learn so much out of the classroom, because here at Quinnipiac, I've learned like 95% of what I know about film outside of the classroom, because as a film minor, like Q30, QFest has given me so much experience, and especially working on the productions we've had, it's shown me so much too. And I can't wait for the guest speakers as well, because those are always such great experiences, and QFest is always so great to be at. But really the pinnacle of being in QFest is getting to go to Sundance. So I'd like to ask you about your experience at Sundance 2024, which we went to together, and your hopes for this next one in 2025.
Of course. Sundance is a ton of fun. I remember coming into Quinnipiac thinking like, oh my, if I get to go, that's great. But the fact that I've already been able to go, it just absolutely blew my mind. It's a great opportunity for people who want to just be in that environment, go see films that are premiering, like be able to ask the filmmakers, producers, actors, like crew, whoever, questions about it. And just like, I don't know, there's something so magical about Sundance, I think. And last year was extra special because I had a press pass. It's just like the basic one, so I could like write articles and do interviews. So that Q30 had a package for #that. And that was absolutely insane. Like I was literally like an arm length away from Lionel Richie. I interviewed Dylan O'Brien, and those are things that I hold so close to my heart, because that's not something that people get to experience, and I'm so grateful for it. And that's, a mix of like QFS got me there and Q30 gave me that opportunity. And even just as like a normal like festival goer, just like the energy is so hard to explain because everyone's excited to see it. Like, you don't know if you're gonna like the movie or not. Like, it's not like you have a trailer, there's no articles about it. Like, it really is just read the description, like the log line, and go in. Go see for yourself. And you know, there are movies I walk out of and I'm like, that wasn't for me, but I'm glad I saw it. And there's some movies I'm like bawling my eyes out and I'm in the middle of a crowded theater and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I've been by myself in those instances. The Christopher Reeve story that you actually got me the ticket for.
Yeah.
I asked them a question. I was sobbing. I was like, I'm so sorry, and I got my question out, but I was like, it's insane because it takes you on so many emotions. It's exciting. It's you're thankful for the opportunity, but again, the films, like, they just pack such a punch, and like it's something that I think I would say everyone should have the opportunity to do, or definitely look into it because it's awesome. And applications for the 2025 Film Fest went out this week. And my hopes for that is, one, everyone be safe. Just make sure everyone's good. We get there and everyone gets back. But that everyone just has a good time and makes the most of it. It is like, it can be difficult to navigate. Like, you know, you have to take Ubers, you have to eat, like, what theater is which, how do I get there? It could be a little intimidating, and tickets are always difficult to get because, you know, it's Sundance. But like, once you're there, like, just enjoy it, trust yourself, like, just go explore, go have fun. It's your 1 week, like, you can just go. The only difference is that this year it's during like a full school week. So coming back from that, I think will be difficult.
There's some adversity.
But I always say academics come first. Like, all of this other stuff is so much fun, but we're here for the degree. We're here for our education. So my goal is also just making sure I can help students with that, especially since like some of the students are taking classes I've already taken or had professors that I know about or have had myself. So just helping them, like, oh, here's what you should be doing. Here's what you know, here's the setup. Here's what you'll probably be talking about. Here's, just talk to them, like, communicate with your teachers. So that's my goal, helping with education and making sure everyone's all good and feels safe.
Yeah, that was a great plug for QFS, the applications. And yeah, like, I had Sophia Baselone on here for episode 34, which dropped today, the day of this recording. That's how you could tell how ahead I am on these. But
hey, it's supposed to be like that. You're a busy guy.
Yeah, we talked, and I basically said, like, our Sundance trip, it's like, in my head, it's like Christmas.
Yeah,
like, very nostalgia wrapped.
Also,
experience.
Park City is gorgeous. Like, the snow, just the ambiance. It's such an amazing place to just sit and just like look around. And then they're like, oh, right, there's A-list celebrities here. Right. Oh, so I do get that Christmas feeling. I understand what you mean.
Yeah, it's like this little like Swedish looking town, and you're kind of going around all these shops and all these restaurants, and then you could just see like people who worked on these films, people. You know, like, a few of us, we saw Zolo Mariduena from Cobra Kai.
So jealous.
Who Blue Beetle. We just saw him, or I just kind of like moved my head, and he was just sitting there at Flanagan's, one of the restaurants, and I'm like, what? Yeah,
I know. The first year I went, we went to Pizza and Noodles there. It was like a group dinner, and 2 actors from Disney Channel were just standing there, and I was like trying to look around, see if anyone else like recognized them. And I eventually was just like, you know what, to heck with it, because I've just tried to have that motto, like, again, just go for it. Like, don't be afraid, just try it, like, whatever. And I was like, were you guys on Andy Mac? They're like, yeah. And I was like, this is insane, just walking up to you like randomly at this pizza place. And again, that's magical. That's awesome.
And that place is so magical. And yeah, I'm a bit of a shy guy. Sometimes I jump out of my shell in situations where it's like, I gotta say something. Yes, I gotta go up to them and say something.
Because when else are you gonna see them?
Yeah.
Like, just go for it.
Yeah. You never want to bother people, but I feel like a lot of times celebrities would appreciate it.
Yeah, and there's a way to do it without like bothering them. Like, I think just like, hi. Like, I always start with like, hi, I'm so sorry to bother you. And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, they're cool. Like, my heart starts like, you know, normal levels again. It's not racing. But yeah, I mean, everyone just tells me like, oh, they're just people too, like, whatever. And I'm like, okay. And I take that as like, they're people, they'll understand. Like, I'm just excited.
Very much so. And you coming up to them, you're a people person, so you can handle it better than some other fans. can.
I hope I don't freak anyone out.
I don't think you do. And I don't know if you recall, but what were some of your favorite movies from your experience at Sundance?
Oh, okay. My first year, my favorite was definitely Still, the Michael J. Fox documentary. Absolutely incredible. That was an odd trip too because I did the thing. I bought the Salt Lake City ticket.
Oh boy.
Which is like a no on that trip just because it's so far away.
The written, unwritten rule.
Right, but we were able to figure it out, and I went with a group of people, and it was just a fun day, like all around. That one was definitely my favorite. This past year, the Christopher Reeves one was incredible. I really liked it. I was very glad I went. Thank you again.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, what else did I'm like blanking on everything that I saw. A Different Man was really good. I saw Rob Peace like on a whim with some people. That like blew me away. And Camila Cabello was just like sitting 3 rows behind me. I was like, oh my gosh. Hitman. That one was my favorite. Hitman. Glen Powell, super sweet, like total sweetheart. And that one was just a lot of fun. Like the audience was just really into it. And they just had great chemistry, like, answering questions. So that one was definitely my favorite this year.
And you were you with the group that met Glen Powell?
So it's funny. We were coming out of Rob Peace, and our friend Harry went to the back to meet Camila Cabello. And I was like getting in line for Hitman because I was like, I want a good seat. But then Glen Powell started walking, and I was like, anyone coming? And they were all like, no. And I just booked it. I was like, nope, I'm going. So I met him like by myself, quote unquote. I got his autograph. I got a picture with him. But then I went to the back at the end with everyone. I wasn't in that picture because it was like icy and I didn't want anyone to trip, and I already had my picture. So I was like, okay, I'll just like revel in this moment. But yeah, no, he's awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't in that picture because I didn't know everyone was there.
Everyone gets lost really quickly. Communication is very much key in that situation.
Yeah, it stunk being the odd man out. But then I had another experience with Glen Powell because I got to see the Twisters premiere in Los Angeles.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like right in front of me. He was turning towards our row, and then he gets tapped on the shoulder and told to go take pictures elsewhere.
No, that's so unfair. I'm
and
so
then
sorry.
2 minutes later, we get pulled away into the theater. And I had to sit there in the theater and lament.
Well, did you at least like the movie?
It was very fun.
Okay.
It was very fun. The whole time I'm like, I was this close to meeting Glen
close.
Powell twice.
It'll happen. 3rd time's a charm.
Exactly.
I don't know when that'll be, but it'll happen.
Here's what I'm manifesting. I'll have him on the Zicast someday, and that's will be.
You'll talk about this.
How I meet Glen Powell, and I'll talk to Glen Powell
That's
about
the title name. Yep.
Exactly. How I met Glen Powell. Not how I met your mother. How I met Glen Powell.
Exactly. No, that's a good plan.
And that's something I'm looking forward to. I say it's like a running joke. I was telling my mom about it at the time. I'm like, it's like a running joke. Me getting so close to meeting Glen Powell and it not happening. It's like something that would be on How I Met Your Mother.
Right. Yes. So it'll happen one day. Like that's what I'm imagining.
That's what we're establishing here.
Yes.
That's the energy we're putting
out.
Right.
That's just the backstory. Like you've kept running into him. It's bound to happen at some point. That's how the script is going.
It's the lore.
Right.
It's the lore. And I'm glad we both have the same favorite movie, Hitman, because I loved Hitman. Yeah. It was also the most like commercial film.
I would say so.
It's the most like a movie you'd probably see in theaters. But I love The Different Man as well. I love The Real Pain.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I heard that was really good though.
I forgot what movie I saw where I had to give you the ticket to Superman because I was going to see that. It was one of the significant ones I saw.
Maybe like Love Lies Bleeding.
It might have been.
Okay.
But
I don't remember.
I'm so happy I gave you the tickets that you were able to see
I loved
Superman.
The documentaries I see there are honestly like some of the best documentaries like I've ever seen. I also saw like The Greatest Night in Pop, which like it's bound to be good. It's Lionel Richie, but like that was super powerful and I loved it. And like I just feel like they're always good there. So definitely go see a documentary if you go to Sundance.
That's a great advice. I actually did not see any.
Yeah, like it just always happened to be someone I was interested in. But like even the ones I like don't really know much about, like they're good. And I wouldn't peg myself as a documentary person. So the fact that I'm saying go see it.
Yeah. I would say I'm a documentary person if they're good. And I know Superman's out in theaters. I know. I think A Different Man is out in theaters as well. So
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of them coming to light. Or like I know everyone's been talking about. I saw the TV Glow, which I was on waitlist for and I didn't get in, but that's okay because now I can see it if I want.
Yeah, that was a polarizing movie, but very very interesting. It sparks a lot of discussion.
Okay. I didn't know like anything about it going into it. I was just like,
neither.
oh, we're all doing this. Okay, I'll try.
And it's so fun because it's about experiencing it with other people too. Because a lot of the movies, it's so fun because you could just talk about it afterwards, even if it's bad.
Yeah. No, the other thing too is like I miss going to the movies, like actually being in a theater with people. Like, you know, I think back to like Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man No Way Home, like. Those are such colossal moments, and like you don't get that anymore. Like I can't spend $20 on a ticket. When I know it's going to be on streaming in like a month or two, and it sucks. It's just the way like the industry's turning now, but Sundance kind of revives me in that way. Like, no, this is how you experience it. Like being in that room of people sharing these emotions, like that's part of it. Like it's not just about the films, it's about the people. Which again is just so refreshing.
Yeah, it's what Nicole Kidman talks about in
yes.
those ads for AMC.
Yes, exactly.
Heartbreak feels good.
In a place like this.
In a place like this.
I love that. It like gets me ready for any movie. I'm like, oh yes, okay.
It's like our hype song.
Yes, like the opening act.
Yeah, yeah, especially like being in that house with everyone too.
Yeah, that's fun.
Which is so cool being with everyone. It's tough, you know, with like elevation sickness and it being so cold.
Yeah.
But getting
slipping,
icy, but it's just such a great atmosphere. And there's nothing quite like it. Like when Sophia was on here as well, we were talking about like Utah. Like who would think it'd be this beautiful with these beautiful mountains?
Yeah. Like I wouldn't think, just go to Utah, but no, go. Like we went tubing my first year and that was so much fun. Like just the scenery and like we were just being silly, having fun. Like I felt like a little kid again. I was like, go see a movie, go tubing, go eat. Like it was so nice. Yeah, Utah's beautiful.
Very much so. Living the dream. And now moving into some personal questions, I'd like to ask you, what are some things people may not know about you? Like fun facts. Okay,
some fun facts. Okay, here's one I was talking about with my roommates. I'm definitely an introvert. And they were like, no, you're not. And when I explained it to them, I was like, no, I am, because like I value like me time and just like resetting. And I guess if my roommates didn't really realize that, I guess that's something people don't know about me. What else? I've been to 40 concerts.
Wow.
Or about that. I love going to concerts. Music, just like film, just like TV, just like sports. It's just like, it's so powerful and can move you in so many ways. And something about being at a concert just really makes me so happy. Because you're sharing it with a bunch of people. Yeah, that's cool. You're sharing it with like the artists themselves. And even just like the production value of some of these things, like the ambiance of like an acoustic guitar versus like the pyrotechnics of like some of the, you know, more rock bands that I've seen. It's so much fun. It's so interesting. And part of the reason, again, why I wanted to be in the entertainment industry. Let's see. What else do people not know about me? I don't know. I'd like to think I'm an open book.
Yeah. Those are some good ones.
Yeah.
Like you and being an introvert, it's like a dramedy. You get the best of both worlds.
I try to be outgoing, but then I need to like settle down and like just reset.
I very much understand that because I would consider myself an introvert as well, and I talk to people on the internet constantly. So there's very much that contrast where just because you are an introvert doesn't mean you can't do extroverted activities.
Yeah, I always like to say like I'm an extroverted introvert, like just like that sweet spot in the middle, because I like to be people and like outgoing and just enjoy being in that social atmosphere, but you know there is something nice about just like being alone, maybe being with a good book or like, you know, just listening to music, taking a walk. Like those things are very relaxing as well.
Very relatable. And what you said about going to concerts, that's very much like what you said about the theater, experiencing it with other people. Yeah. That's the sentiment I hear from anyone who goes to movie theaters or goes to concerts. It's experiencing it with other people.
Yeah. And it's so special because like when else are you going to? Like, it's such a unique opportunity to just go and experience that I'm very thankful my parents have funded over the years. And like, or like, you know, the birthday presents I've gotten, or, you know, my brother's taken me to some things as well. So very thankful for that, because it is something that I just think it's just fun. It's a great experience. It's an awesome opportunity to go and share that and just be a part of it just for like the 2 hours or so. And it's worth it. Like, I love going to events like that. Sporting games, like, I'll go anytime.
Yeah, shout out the Shaws.
Yes, shout out the Shaws.
And you do have one of the very smoothest names, Sam Shaw.
Yeah.
It's so smooth.
I thought that was just like a high school thing, like, oh, Sam Shaw. But like, no, like, it continued. Like, I didn't tell anyone, like, people called me Sam Shaw, but you know, it just transitioned to college, and like, that's cool. Like, I don't really care what you call me. If you call me Samantha, that's fine. If you call me Sam, that's fine. But yeah, it was I thought it was funny, like, experience. Right.
Sam Shaw.
Exactly.
Sam Shaw.
And like, it's just like a reflex now. Like, I hear it and I'm like, oh, like, okay. And I'll usually, like, I'll have a better idea of like who's calling me, like, based upon what they call me, like Sam, Samantha, Sam Shaw. So that's nice, just as like a little warning before I turn around.
It's like your bat signal.
Right, my spidey sense.
Exactly. And Shaw, out of curiosity, are you English?
Yeah, I'm a mutt. Like, you name almost anything like European, like, I'm probably that. I don't think I'm any more than like 23%. I think I'm 23% either Scottish or Irish or Swedish. It's one of those. And then it all trickles down. Like, I'm a lot like 7% this, 5% that. But yes, I am English. I think Shaw is Welsh, though. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of ingredients in the pot.
Yes,
so to speak.
A lot. No, a ton.
Yeah. I'm an interesting case, because I'm like 3/4 Italian, but I have a Polish last name, because that 1/4 was Polish, which gives me Zicast, which has served me very well.
Absolutely. But I also think it's just so interesting. Like, I meet people who are like 100% Italian, and I'm like, I think, like, how? Because like, that's just not me. Like, I don't have like that one that I say I am. Like, no, I am Irish, I am English, I am Scottish, I am Swedish, I am this, I am that, Slovakian. Like, I don't even know at this point. So I always find it fascinating when someone's like pure.
Yeah, I think that serves you well with how versatile you are.
Oh, thank you.
Because you do a lot of things.
I really like it. Like, I like learning about different cultures, and just experiencing that. I would love to travel someday and like go to all these different places. So it's nice that I could say I have a little part of that in me.
yeah, Q30 documentary idea.
There you go.
Sam Shaw's origins.
That would be great. I would really love that. I'm gonna go talk to Brianna about it now.
Talk to Brianna. Go get the Reynolds wrap on it right now.
I will text them after this. Be like, hey, we got to do it. Zicast exclusive.
Zicast exclusive from Zicast Productions.
There you go.
And now we're on to something very interesting. I'm actually debuting a new topic on this episode based upon my episode 38 guest, who talked about what she hates the most and then told me I should do this in future episodes.
Wow.
And I think it's compelling, but I wanted to add a little bit more to this, especially with you being on here. What's one thing you love and one thing you strongly dislike?
Okay. All right. I'll do the positive first.
Exactly.
Something I love, I would say family time and like friend time. I think that in college it's very easy to be like wrapped up in your own thing, but like, I take a second to like reset. Like, I'll text my brother, see what they're up to. I'll call my mom, I'll call my dad. I was on the phone with my aunt the other day for like 40 minutes, which was just super refreshing. I'm seeing her in 2 weeks for our annual corn maze, like, family reunion, and that's a ton of fun. Like, a bunch of my cousins go, and I see my grandma. And then 2 weeks after that, my other aunt is throwing like her annual Halloween bash. So we all dress up. We have a costume contest. We dance, we do karaoke, things like that. And I just think that like family time can be very undervalued at our age. And like, I don't see why. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. My cousins are like sisters to me and brothers to me, and my brothers are my best friends. And I don't know. I think that it's very important. So that's definitely something I love and something I value. And something I know this is impossible
for you.
Okay. I strongly dislike it when I'm watching a series and I learn that it was canceled. Learning about producing now, like I understand, oh, it's just not in the budget, like the ratings weren't good enough, but it drives me absolutely insane because I'll be so invested in these characters and like I need to know what happens because everything's a cliffhanger nowadays so that they get to season 2, but then they just don't make it, or it takes like forever. Like after Loki, like I watched that all in one night, like season 1. I was like, I have to wait till 2024. I was like, oh my gosh. But then there, like a Netflix series I watched the first season, was like, ooh, can't wait, and it like didn't have the continue on to season 2 option. I was like, no, you're kidding, no. And so that's depressing. I really don't like it when that happens. It's so frustrating because then I gotta find something else. Like I thought I had time. Yeah, that really makes me upset.
That's the most Sam Shaw thing to strongly dislike of anything in the world. Like my last guess, hers was bumper stickers.
Okay,
she hates bumper
that's
stickers.
A good one. I think they're okay. I wouldn't put too many on. Like I get it, like why we want to, but I don't know, just like 1 or 2 is fine.
That's an interesting response. But yeah, especially in with streaming shows, they take so long to get different seasons. Yeah, not like how it used to be back in the day, right? As they say. I
love watching like relatable reels or TikToks. I'm not really on TikTok. I'm mostly on Instagram Reels, which whatever. But like me used to scream. I used to scream to my siblings like it's on, and they'd have to race back to watch the episode. And, like, that just doesn't happen anymore. It's, like, 10 episodes, pause, go, leisurely. Which is nice. Like, I love binge watching. Like, I'm definitely a binger. But, I don't know. I do miss the nostalgia of, like, Friday nights, new Disney Channel episode, or, Nickelodeon, things like that.
There's truly magic in it. And it's great you talk about your family. I could tell you have a big family. Yeah. By the sounds of it.
I have 30 cousins.
Wow.
Yeah. It all taught me so much, like, both my parents are the youngest. So, like, my cousins, some of them just graduated college recently. Others, like, have families of their own now and are raising, like, their kids. And, they all have something to teach me. Or even my cousins now who are, like, are my age. Like, I just, I'm so comfortable talking with them. And, like I said, like, we really are just, like, sisters, brothers, best friends. Like, it doesn't even matter. We'll chat. We'll do whatever. Like, I just feel, like, at home when I'm with them. So I love cousins. I love all my cousins, and I think cousins are great.
That's the moral of the story.
Right.
That you love your cousins. That's very compelling. So I'd like to move into the next topic, which are some of your hopes and dreams professionally or in general.
It probably makes sense with everything else I've said, but I really do like trying different things. So I'm would like to say that I would hopefully be happy doing a bunch of different things. Like, I really love producing a show. I really like, working on my capstone film. I like being in the sports atmosphere. I like working, like, marketing and social media. So I would, I'm open to trying different things, seeing, what LinkedIn throws my way. But yeah, I don't know, like, exactly what it looks like. At the end of the day, as long as I can make people happy, I think that's my professional goal. And my goal just in general, like, that doesn't just have to be a professional goal. Because that's what I think the entertainment industry, it's all about. It's not the gossip and the, what's going on, and this, that, like, all the drama that goes behind it. Like, no, that's not why I'm here. I like the fact that, movies and television shows and music all have, like, made me learn something, or, like, made me realize something, or just whatever. And I want to be a part of that. I want to help people feel heard, feel understood. And just, like, the simple ways that, like, a lot of people might overlook, like, like a Pixar movie, like, You've Got a Friend in Me, like, just those simple little moments that we take for granted in life. I would love to kind of bring forward through whatever medium, whether that's movies, television shows, even like sports. Like, I love, like, the fan promotion stuff, and like, when you see, like, little kids, like, learn how to shoot a puck, or they get to throw the first pitch, or, like, things like that, like, just restoring faith in humanity. That's what I'd like to do with my career.
I feel like that's a formality for you, making people happy and restoring faith in humanity. I said that you were like if sitcoms were a person. I feel like if you were like if Pixar movies were a person. I feel like that almost tracks better
much.
now that you say that, because you give very Pixar.
Thank you. Pixar is great. I love Pixar because I'm never ready for what they're about to teach. Like Cars, oh my gosh. Onward, like all these movies, like again, that you just don't really understand the weight of what you're walking into. Like absolutely, like, oh, it's Pixar, you know it's going to be fun, you know it's going to be like a cute movie, but like there's always something to take from it, and that's what I love. Like you're never leaving empty-handed. There's always something to learn. And that's just, you know, with life. There's always something to learn. A crappy situation, learn from it. A great situation, learn from it. Just keep going and always learn.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
That's yeah. It's even the way they grow with you too. Like Toy Story.
Yeah.
Like you could view like the toys are like Andy's children, but they're also like his parents.
Yeah.
And I feel like as you grow up, you kind of see things differently, and it kind of strikes a different chord with you.
Yeah, and like the other thing too is everyone takes to a character differently. Like, oh, I love this character. Oh, I don't like this character. And you could be talking about the same person, and it's just because we all come from different walks of life, which is totally fine. And you know why there are movies and entertainment just in general. But you know, bringing that all together and just like uniting and being one, I think is super powerful.
And I'm glad that that's your mission in the entertainment industry, the very vast entertainment industry, is to kind of bring that joy, which I feel like, much like you said, can be very lost in the process of everything.
Yeah, it's disappointing, like when you start thinking about it, like, oh well, you know, funding, or oh well, just like, no, it's just for marketing, PR, it's just like a strategy for it. But like at the end of the day, like a song still makes you feel something. Like it'll hit at that right moment, like like when you're going through something, like you think of that song, you know, or you know, it plays on the radio and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is what I'm feeling. It's like a coping mechanism. And I think once you strip it down to that, like that is what this is for. And artists say that all the time, but just reminding people of that and kind of bringing that all together, like it isn't just for the money, it isn't for like the big fame, glory, whatever. Like we're just people, this is humanity, like let's all just like I don't know, kumbaya, like
kumbaya. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. and I think that leads us very well into what are some of your favorite movies.
Okay. Hacksaw Ridge is one of my favorite, which a lot of people don't expect, so there's another thing. I just, you know, faith oriented. I also love Andrew Garfield. And that movie, it restores my faith in humanity. I think like there's always, like, of course, war is something terrible and something I never want to think about, but there are people who fight. And I'm also, my grandfather was a veteran, so I just think that, you know, showing a movie that really exemplifies like honor and bravery is super important. And that movie is just like technically so well done. I love that. And some lighter ones, like Peter Pan, the 2003 one, that's amazing. I feel like not a lot of people recognize that, but no, it's amazing. That it's so much fun, and it's just like, you know, that little spark of like magic and like, you know, nostalgia. Back to the Future, absolute, like, oh my gosh, so fun. I could watch that all the time, and all three of them are great. Like, I love that trilogy. Catch Me If You Can's also a really good one. I don't know why, I just always liked it. I'm a big Leo fan, so I mean that makes sense. Tom Hanks, of course, amazing. Like, who doesn't love Tom Hanks? Yeah, those are some. I also, you know, just the general ones like Cinderella, of course. That was my favorite movie growing up. I love Hairspray, like the musical. That one's really good. I could go on and on about my favorite movies. I love, like, there's just too many.
Yeah, like Catch Me If You Can, Spielberg. You seem very Spielberg.
I guess so. I guess I'm weird. Like, I don't follow directors, and then I just like realize like, oh, it must be good. Like he did this. Yeah, I think I am Spielberg though. And I mean, every movie,
feel and energy, yeah.
Yeah, I everything I've seen of his I've loved. So like, yeah, probably.
that tracks. And
Yeah.
overall, Sam, I could just thank you for coming on here.
Thank you for having me.
It's
It was such an honor.
It's incredible. And when I told you there's going to be a lot more compliments going forwards, this is where that happens.
No, stop. Okay.
So I'll tell you, one time you called me radiant in a meeting, and every single day since then, I've thought about that.
Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry.
No,
because you are, though. Like, you are.
Thank you. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I think, Sam Shaw called me radiant, so it can't be that bad of a day.
It's just the truth. But I love that mindset.
Yeah. And, you brighten every room you're in. I wish there were more people like you, Sam Shaw. And I appreciate everything from Q30, QFest, Sundance, etc. Always seeing you brightens my day. You're like one of those people where I can't have a bad day as long as I see Sam Shaw.
I'm like tearing up right now. Like I'm actually choking up. You were way too sweet, and you're so talented, and everything you do is just so awesome. Like, you came in, you hit the ground running, and like, look at this, like, Zicast episode 39. Oh my gosh. So no, everything I say about you is true. Like, you're amazing. Like, you're great. And I know you're gonna have Glen Powell on the show, and I know you're gonna you're gonna be the next big Spotify podcast, and you're just going to achieve everything you can because you're just determined, and you know how to work with people, and you're just incredible.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And getting you choked up was probably the wrong thing to do before asking you if you had anything you'd want to say before we wrap things up.
I mean, just try things, and always be kind to people. You never know what they're going through. They could be having a great day. They could be having a bad day. Just add to the goodness. There's enough bad things going on in the world. And as long as you remember that, I think you can accomplish anything, because that's also going to make you a better person, not to others, but to yourself. And just enjoy things. Like, be thankful for each and every day. It's a blessing. There's something to learn. Yeah, just go live.
That's the Sam Shaw antithesis.
Yes.
I would say that's summarizing it in a nice, neat package.
Thank you. Thank
you.
you.
Of course. And of course, thank you again for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And as always, this is Ryan Zicast with the Zicast, where everyone has a story. Signing off. Thank you so much for watching.